Hi guys, my name is Benes Kakari and I'm from Ghana. I'm currently studying at the National University of Science and Technology, NUST. I'm studying communication and international public relations. I really like it here in Moscow. Russia is very cool. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the thoughts I had about Russia before coming here, it doesn't hold anymore. Because before I even came here, I had friends who were like, so why are you going to Russia? Of all places, Russia is very cold and the people are so mean and very dangerous and intimidating. But I came here and I've been here for 9 months. So I'll know that Russians are a bit quite different from what people think they are. I'll start with the language. The Russian language seems a bit intimidating. When they speak, it sounds like it's coming straight from their throat. So that might sound intimidating, but the people are warm, the people are very affectionate, and you see it shown in their friends, close friends, and in their families. I've visited one Russian home and the father served me coffee, cup of tea, and they asked interesting questions about me. And the way Russians nowadays are embracing foreigners, for me as a, should I say, black girl living here in a Russian society, it's been very wonderful, and you get all the attention you don't even ask for because they see you and they're interested in your culture. So for me it's quite interesting, nothing intimidating. I really like attention because I'm a young beautiful woman. And these Russians, they always want to take pictures with you, or either want to take your number, and for me it's just perfect. So my biggest challenge here in Russia, I'll say number one was the weather. Russia is cold. When I say cold, like sub-zero, freezing cold. I came here in September and that for me was the biggest shock ever. I had to wear like 3 or 5 outfits even in a day just so I could stay warm. And even having to speak to someone out in the cold, it was too much for me. I had cold all the time. My nose was always running. I had to come back and drink hot tea or hot water all the time. And there was a time I even gave up completely. I skipped classes during winter because I couldn't stand the cold. And the next biggest challenge for me is the language, and it still remains because the Russian language is a bit tricky, and as the Russians themselves will say, "Это очень трудно." But now I have friends, and I tell you for a fact, nowadays Russians are really interested in international communities. So when you come and you're a foreigner and they see that you're even putting in a little effort to the language, they really try to help you out, learn it, and gradually I'm overcoming that challenge. But that's it. That's about the only challenge I've had here in Russia. So for my department, as I was saying, I'm studying communication and international public relations. And the biggest challenge so far started when we went offline because this whole pandemic thing forced everyone to resort to distance learning. And I don't think as a university, that's my university, was ready for such a drastic shift because there were times the lecturers will call in on a Zoom conference and it looked like they weren't even ready for the lesson, and they lazy around, which caused us to also lazy around. But just before this whole pandemic and quarantine thing happened, lectures was, I would say, free in the sense that me and my other Ghanaian roommates could walk in very late, and no one made us feel awkward for coming in late. And as far as lateness counts, we were one of the last students to have arrived on campus. We had some visa challenges, so it took longer for us to come in. And I remember the very first time I came to class, I was asked to present on a topic I had no idea of, and I was shy. I remember covering my face with a book the first time I had to stand before all these Russians to talk about a subject I had no idea of, and that was very intimidating. But one of the lecturers stood behind the class and she was cheering me on, and that sent a really positive signal to me, especially as a communicationist. So I really enjoyed that on-campus lesson. The first semester, like I said, I had to skip some of the class because winter was really harsh for me. I've lived in the oven and now I'm in the freezer. So it was such a drastic change. I didn't think I could contain it. But then came second semester and we started the first half of it on campus before the whole pandemic thing came in. And my experience with these lecturing is that everyone knows something and they make you feel like you know your stuff even if you don't. And for my program, it's very interactive. So we're always doing presentations, we're always talking. That's why I'm talking so much. And I love it. Personally, I love it. I love the style. If a lecturer gives you a grade and you think you are better qualified for a higher grade, you just talk it out with a person and then they give you a few questions to answer and then you have your grade. So for me, it's a freestyle. They don't wait until the very last day of the exam to determine your overall score. Every assignment, every project, it counts towards the final grading, and that for me is the big plus here. Interactive. We even call our lecturers by their first names. It's so free. You feel like you have a rapport with them even on the very first day, and I really love that about education here in Russia. Russia, not to work but to study. They have one of the cheapest tuition schemes for international students compared to other areas of the world like Europe or America. Russia doesn't cost so much if you want to study in a higher education. And my experience here alone, and I've only been here for 9 months as I mentioned earlier. If I were pregnant, I'm sure I would have given birth already by now. But it's been a wonderful experience just coming. Don't be afraid. The racism talk and the projection Hollywood and other big entertainment industries have projected Russia isn't true. Take it from me, as a black girl living in Moscow, I came in all alone and security is perfect. The people are very receptive, the tuition is okay, and life here is really good. If you want to chill, you can really chill. And shout out to Nikon Services. If I may, they've made life a bit more easier for me here. International communities, you need such a community so you can feel at home, so you know where to go, how to navigate. If you have questions, even problems with the international students bodies, I believe Nikon Service will be there to assist you at any point in time. So guys, don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified anytime we drop a new video. Who knows, maybe I might be in the next video, not talking so much again. But comment please on your personal experience, that if you live here or have lived here in Russia, we want to know, and your suggestions. We are open for suggestions. Hit the like button and share with your family and friends. Shout out to the man behind the camera, Immobilians, doing wonderful great job and helping us project the reality on the ground as an African and an international student living here in Moscow. Peace out.